Hello, how are you? So good to have you here. Thank you so much for visiting my page again, my channel. I'm so glad to see you. I now have a page on Facebook. I have a channel on YouTube where I'm posting all my videos, as well as another account on TikTok. So if you want to find me, you can find me on all those three platforms where I am sharing my videos. Please go ahead, like and share my content. As usual, I'm here to analyze, to summarize, as well as break down some of the issues that are going around in our current affairs that most of us are really finding it a bit difficult to really understand, or simply just giving my viewers an opportunity to go deep and dive into the current affairs that are happening in our country, especially related to the elections happening in Zambia. Today, unfortunately, I come to you with a very sad story of a teacher that lost her life in Kabwe district. She took her own life it is said that this happened due to some financial difficulties that she was facing, and this was reviewed by her mother. This is a very, very sad development. My condolences to the family, my condolences to the people of Kabwe, her workmates, as well as her pupils. This is a very, very difficult time for all of them. I believe many teachers, as well as civil servants in Zambia, are going through the same thing. This has become a trend back at home where people are now relying on loans to survive. Salary comes in, before you know it, it's paying up all your loans, and you remain with a small percentage to carry out, your daily activities to meet your basic needs. People end up borrowing on top of what they have. They borrow again. It's like it has just become a norm, and this just tells you that the economy is really hard and people are finding it difficult to live their lives normally, their day-to-day lives normally, even to provide things that are really basic, such as food. It has become very expensive. It has become really hard to navigate in Zambia, especially with our economy today. A lot of teachers are going through mental stress. A lot of our teachers are going through mental stress. Look at it this way. We have challenges of overcrowded classrooms. We have between 60 to 100 pupils in one class being handled by one teacher. Imagine that stress of handling. I don't know how many of you have had an opportunity to teach children, to control even 5 children, 10 children. It's really hard for one person to do that. How much more controlling 100 pupils in one class? On top of that, you even have issues, financial issues, on your mind. You're trying to see how you're going to take care of your family, how you're going to feed your family, how you're going to pay ABCD. People coming to your doorstep asking for their monies, threatening you that they're going to post you on social media. Today, I've seen in Zambia how common it is. If somebody's owing you money, before you know it, they're posting them on social media, tagging churches, tagging their place of work and everything else, just embarrassing somebody over credit. This has become very normal in Zambia. And trust me, this has a psychological effect on people. At the end of the day, these are the results that we get. People decide to take their lives because they feel that is the easiest solution to get out of this situation. Teachers need financial literacy. Yes, you might say these are teachers, they are learned and all those things, but no, financial literacy comes on its own as a package. Teachers need to learn about their financial literacy. Teachers need to research, do proper research, one, on institutions where they're borrowing from. Two, if you're borrowing money, what is it exactly that you're going to do with this money? What sort of business are you going to do? Have you done a proper research on this business that you want to venture into? Or is it something that you saw somebody's doing and you think that you could also do it and also make the same profits? At the end of the day, you end up borrowing, investing into something, and then boom, it doesn't work out. You fail to pay back. Borrow knowing that you'll be able to pay back without even the business paying, you immediately. I remember there was one time I have been exposed to loans. I have gotten loans before, but loans that are manageable. I always tell myself, if I had to get a loan today, I am not going to depend on that loan to be able to repay itself. Firstly, I'll need to look at my income and say, am I able to pay back this loan, even if what I want to venture into might not directly, benefit me, or if it does not work out, will I still be able to pay this loan and still live a comfortable life? Those are questions that you and me need to be asking ourselves when we start, thinking about venturing into things like taking loans. There's nothing wrong with taking a loan. What becomes a problem is what you do after that. What are your plans? What is it that you want to do exactly? Have you got enough information about it? Have you done the market research and all those things? Those are very important things that you need to put into consideration. And I'm saying most of our teachers today might not have this, information. How many times have we heard on social media of teachers taking their lives because of loans, civil servants taking their lives because of loans? This is not the first time we're hearing this. Unfortunately, I'm just talking about this now because of the situation that has happened and what is currently happening in the country. We need to move away from this. And the only way we can do this is by voting wisely. And I'm going to explain to you how best this can happen. Please follow me and do not leave me. So in this whole situation, how does the government play a role? Somebody might say, oh, how does a personal loan got to do with the government? So firstly, the government needs to look seriously into financial institutions that are giving out loans. Today in Zambia, there's this trend where a financial institution will be linked to a certain, either institution or an organization. They'll come up with a memorandum of understanding and say, this is how much we're going to be, giving you, and this is what we're going to be getting back. And then that institution goes back to its workers and says, oh, we've gotten into a memorandum of understanding with financial company A, and they'll be giving us loans. So if you want to get loans from them, get loans from them, and we'll be deducting from your salaries and all those things. They make people excited without even going into details to talk about interest rates and all those things into depth. Sometimes even 1% interest is a lot when you sit down and calculate. 1% of 300,000 of a loan over time is a lot of money. You're getting a loan. Is it accumulative interest you're paying? Is it compound interest that you're paying? Yeah. Is it zero interest loan? You need to have all that information to say, I'm getting this loan and this is what's behind this loan. Is this loan insured? What happens if I'll not be able to pay back this loan? Have these conversations with these people. If they come to your workplace to make all these presentations, ask questions, get to know more. Don't just get excited about the product. Yeah? The thing is, as a sales representative, they will tell you everything good. They will tell you everything good, and they'll never undersell themselves. They will sell themselves to a point that immediately, people will start getting papers and filling in applications and getting loans just there and then. When you woke up from home, you did not even have a plan of getting a loan. But simply because you have gone for work, somebody has come to give a presentation and they're saying they're able to give you loans A, B, C, D, and you will pay this loan within a period of 5 years, and this is X amount that you will pay, and the interest rate will be going up, but it will be manageable and all those things. You don't even look into certain things into account. You don't calculate things, at length. You get excited, get these loans. And most of us would get these loans. The first thing that we're going to do is, spend it sometimes on lavish things, buy food and all those things. And they're like, it's not bad to buy food. But then we're saying, why are you getting that loan? Yeah, for what? Have you thought about it closely? I'm not condemning our sister who has gone before us, but I'm just using this situation to speak to us that have remained here, to say she has left us a lesson behind that we all need to learn from. And this is our opportunity, for you and me to make the right decisions. How does the government come into play? The government needs to make sure that these financial institutions are being monitored, the banks and everything else, people, things that are going on anything to do with finances and its people, especially for civil servants and teachers, because I have noticed that most of these institutions want to exploit civil servants. They will tell you, you have a pay slip, surety in pension, you're pensionable, so it's fine. You can get as much money as you can as long as you use your pay slip as your surety. The systems need to improve. Loan terms to be reviewed by financial institutions in line with our inflation. At hand, Muzambia manjapa vintu vachinja simomene vezeriri. Yeah. So imwenga muzopasa malon pa interest yaso langanani economy pamene yendela. Ndiye mwamene muzapasila abantu malon. All those things need to be looked into. All those things, it is the government's responsibility to do that, to monitor and make sure that it is safeguarding its people. When you make certain rules, make sure that these rules are blanket rules. Everybody should be able to follow the rules. Nobody should break the rules or the law simply because they know X or because they are owning these financial institutions and they belong to the government, or they are leaders, influential people here and there. So therefore, ABCD does not apply to them. No. The government needs to make sure that there is a blanket rule for everyone. When rules are made, everybody should follow these rules regardless of who you are. So, how does Brian Mundubila come in? If you have been following the election campaign, Brian Mundubila is simply saying that if he comes into power, he's going to introduce what is called a debt swap. Teachers, doctors, nurses, civil servants, I hope you are listening to this. This is a promise that Brian Mundubila has given to you and me, and we will hold him accountable for this promise that he has made. How did he come up with this? He did the research on the ground and he saw what is affecting you and me on the ground. He saw how civil servants are struggling to pay back loans. And he says, if I come into government, this is one of the first things that I'm going to do. Make sure that there's a debt swap. My civil servants will be relieved, from paying high interest loans. The government will simply come in and help its people. So when you talk of a debt swap can happen can happen in so many ways. It could be that the government will come and literally take over the loan, pay it off for you. Or the government could simply provide what we call consolidated loans. This is where they say, Tenji, so how many loans do you have? I have 6 loans. I'm owing Vachite 10,000. I'm owing institution Finca Chakuti amount. I'm owing SACCOS X amount. I'm owing ABA X amount. So Tenji, when you put all your loans together, how much is it? I would say, my loans, if I calculate, they're coming to about 100,000. So the government says, all right, so if it's 100,000, we are going to give you 100,000 to clear off your debt. And then you will start paying the government with a very low interest fixed rate. So instead of you paying monthly 10,000 to everybody that you're owing money, instead you're going to pay something like 1,000 kwacha towards the government, towards your consolidated loan that the government has given you. You'll be paying little amounts of money that you will not even feel at the end of the day that will cover all the other debt that you owe. Move the camp. Yeah? So I'm saying, ija policy, I'm not going to introduce wa Mundubila. I'm never come back to debt swap. The debt swap can work in so many ways. Inga bwele na kutandiza muntu kumulipirira loan yonse completely 100% depending on the circumstances ya mine uja muntu alimo. O banga bwele na kukamba kuti iwe ulina nkongole yaso na uku faka pamozi nkongole zako nizingati. Yeah, at the end of the day tizakupasa ndalama kulipira nkongole yako yo ero kailipira yo nkongole yako isozambo lipira boma pangono paka nkongole yako ikashita bwanji kastile, and then my interest rates setizaya bweza. So instead of you kulipira my interest rate yapa mwamba mozo lipira kuja kulise uzambo lipira interest rate ingono ero izankala fixed kuti yo uchite bwanji bweze nkongole. This is not making citizens lazy, but it is simply coming in to help its citizens. This is a government that is concerned about its citizens' welfare, about its citizens' mental health. Have you ever seen a Zambian worker that is motivated? Working. Munamuonapo worker wa Zambia sevens ali motivated, afola bwino, ankala bwino, alibe mankongola, alibe chani, mutu mwake muli bwino, like everything is working perfectly. If there's something that affects you so much, it's financial stress. Financial stress and relationships, these two things can break someone, especially financial stress. So here's a government that is saying we're going to come in and cushion that and help you ease the burden, give you a new face to your financial problems, make it manageable for you. Is this the government that you want to throw away? If I were you, I would jump on the bus, vote them into power, and see to it that this policy comes into place, because it's going to save so many lives. We are tired of seeing and watching people that are so valuable to us, to our society. Already we have a shortage of teachers. And if we're going to be losing teachers in such a manner, it's so painful. We have a solution. We have hope. And our hope is Brian Mundoil. Vote for NRPUP party. Vote with your future in mind. So, to end my presentation, I'm just going to look at what is next. So this thing has happened. I'm appealing to the Kabwe Debs. I'm very happy that when I listened to her interview, she mentioned something like, if you have problems, please come to the school, come to the Debs office. Let us talk about these things. Let us try and find a solution to some of these problems. She has made a plea. She has opened up her office to say, come, let us sit down and see how best we can help you. Do not fight such things on your own. And that is the community that we are looking for. That is exactly what we want. So, Bakawe Debs, thank you so much for that invitation. And I hope most of the teachers or anybody else that is going through that stress at the moment, especially for teachers, use this opportunity to speak to your Debs office, to ask for solutions and help. Do not fight this alone. I'm also calling upon the Debs to organize counseling sessions for the teachers at that school as well as the pupils. This will have a negative impact on that community. Therefore, we want you to come in swiftly and come through for the teachers and the pupils. Give them that support that they need. The counseling, the assurance, they need it at the moment. Let us not neglect it. Let us not neglect it. Speak to the pupils and let them know to say that this is not the solution. Unfortunately, this happened, but if you find yourself in such a situation, you can go for help. You can go to this place, signpost them to places where they can get help. For the church, the community, and the government, do not neglect the family of this young lady. They also need your help. They need your support in this trying time. They need to know that there are people standing with them. It's such a difficult time and such a difficult thing to deal with, especially for the mother that found her daughter laying on the floor and knowing everything else that was happening in the background with her. Thank you so much for listening to me. And I pray that this message reaches to everybody that is in this situation and make a difference by choosing to do the right thing. You're not alone in this situation. There is help for you out there. And there's hope for you. And the hope we're talking about is choosing the right people to be in leadership roles that will guide us. Choosing the right leaders that will help us make decisions for our people, things that are going to look at things that we are going through as a people, our struggles. Let us bring in leaders that shall look at policies with a human face. Let us vote for NRPUP because it means well for its people. Thank you so much for listening to me.